So that's a quite good ban, I'll say.
Yeah, especially again, and because history is repeating itself with the Kaisa bans and the Shen out here. Soraka being an all-around good ban, kind of annoying to deal with, but not overly so. And an Echo ban to round out the side of Abusement Park.
Now, Kassadin was picked first, meaning that Skiz can pick AD. Actually, never mind. That's Silas and Graves.
Silas and Graves, that's a really interesting like first two picks. Silas is like I personally don't find him to be as effective when he's picked first, because he's very easily like counterpicked and very easily like given like not very good ultimates to take. But even so far, they decide to give him the Ashe and Sona ults anyway, which are two very powerful ultimates. But rounding out with a Rise to round out Abusement Park, it's kind of one of those things where I'm assuming that Silas might actually be going top this game, but seeing as how Silas and Rise can both flex mid and top, it's going to be really interesting to see who will be taking control of which lane. Caitlyn bans, which are definitely warranted, and a Mordekaiser Gragas following it from Abusement Park. We did see Bo's Mordekaiser last season was out of control. Like him was playing all those juggernauts in the top lane. Between that, Sion, that and his Sion were also very strong picks for him. So I'm not surprised to see the Mordekaiser ban.
Yeah. No, so Huge Minion Difference banned 3 AD carries and picked Ashe. So they're forcing McCarthy to pick Jinx here. I thought he'll play Ezreal in this matchup, but Jinx is picked.
Came out. And we see a Vi and Rumble to finish out what's going on with Huge Minion Difference. Now, looking at the team comps, if that is a set to round out Abusement Park's comp now, but my concern with Abusement Park's current comp is their engage, because there's kind of a lack of that unless you're relying entirely on the Silas and the set to do it. Like Silas is gonna have to steal a Sona ult or an Ashe ult or even a Vi ult to get in there and to do some damage. But like it's not gonna. The engagement issue is not there for Huge Minion Difference though. They've got the Vi and the Rumble who have two very powerful engage tools, as well as Ashe Sona.
Yeah, and I think there's no tool for Abusement Park to stop Kassadin from scaling. I do hope that Skiz will play AD champ, but now that he's playing Rise into Kassadin, I can see that it's going to be really difficult for Abusement Park to stop Kassadin from scaling super fast.
I don't think Kassadin even without like an AD threat can scale very fast. It's just I think it's more of the fact that Abusement Park continued to draft more of a scaling comp with the Rise, with the Silas, because Silas takes a minute to come online, as well as the Jinx, who also takes usually 2.5-3 items to become an actual champion. So, and not a whole lot of protection for the Jinx either. So it's going to be very difficult keeping their AD carries, like either of their two AD carries alive if fights were to break out.
Yeah, I'm still interested to see if you can funnel Vi. Because Vi in this season is really, she's not in a good position, so to say. And Graves, on the other hand, is literally smashing every single jungler in jungle right as of this season.
I think that Vi is actually one of the few champions that can actually match Graves, believe it or not. Like if a fight breaks out in the jungle, I actually think definitely early game, where with an early game Vi with red buff, it's going to be very difficult for Graves to get away from her. And if she can stick to him and not get kited so hard, she'll actually win that fight.
That is true.
Especially early game, where Graves doesn't have like the highest damage in the game, but he does have really good damage. But Vi also has really high damage early game. But again, if like the longer this game goes, I can't see it going well for Abusement Park with it. So my money, I think, is in the right place with Huge Minion Difference.
Yeah, I might have to change my prediction too, and we'll stick with you on this match.
Wow, abandoning your picks already?
Silas Silas does have good options to steal ultimate from, but Rumble, Cassidon, and Ash, they all scale so good.
But remember, if Silas does steal the Rumble ult, it'll actually be more potent with the Silas than it would be with the Rumble, because Rumble, while also building like flat penetration and flat AP, it's still Silas is usually more of a burst is played more of a burst mage. So if the itemization on the Silas goes for the full AP with a death cap and a Ludens somewhere slotted into that build, if he steals a Rumble ultimate, it'll actually be more potent with the way that it scales.
Yep.
So I'm like really concerned. Also, shout out to CCO in this game. He has renewed his sub to the channel, and if you are enjoying this stream as well as all of the content that we are bringing to you, feel free to join him in his 4-month subscription to us so far. Like, let's see in the chat an HMD win or an APB win, huge minion difference or Abusement Park. I want to see this game get right underway and right into the action. I want to see some high action stuff, because I know like last split we did see a lot of slow paced games, but I have faith. I have a lot of faith in a lot of these teams that they're going to be real aggressive with the way that they do things.
Now, Sed took Omnistone, so that's pretty interesting.
I don't think it's like as interesting. It's actually kind of meta on set support right now.
Yeah, I feel like in this matchup it's better for Sed to take Predator, since he will be the only, or actually Silas can engage in, but
they're relying heavily on the Silas to engage using somebody else's ultimate.
Yep. But Sona and Ash can
disengage it really easy.
Yep.
So now, like, the concern comes in is like I see that Bo opted for the Comet rather than the Electrocute here, and that CCO opted for the Conqueror rather than the Aftershock to, I guess, to bring in more damage rather than go with the more bruiser-ish style of engage, where she'll actually not explode to all of the damage on this team.
Yep.
From Abusement Park.
So, and it's been a while since I saw Cassidon taking Electrocute. Normally they take Precision.
They take Fleet Footwork in matches where it's difficult to farm up and get to the mid game where he really shines, and then the late game where he becomes a monster. But I'm assuming that Shadow Jumper is just that confident in the matchup against Rise that he will be able to just scale and take the extra damage with him. So here we go. We're off right here. Will we see the 5-point start? The 5-point start was only, fun fact, the 5-point start was only used by teams that I played for in the caster games. Last split. So hopefully we see a 5-point. Nope, not seeing a 5-point.
Grace took a free kill out of it, and that's a good sign.
This is wild. Already starting off with Abusement Park getting that early cheese into the tri-bush. And now, huge Minion Difference is like playing a little bit scared to walk into their red side. But it seems as though, even with that one kill that was given to the Graves, that's a huge start with the extra longsword. That extra 10 AD is going to help him clear a lot faster. But otherwise, everything else seems to be starting out just about normal. Nothing too crazy now that the early game shenanigans has hopefully stopped for the moment. At least for Abusement.
Graves picked up Longsword to start his jungling, so he should be really fast clearing his camps early.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna have a faster clear speed than Vi, than CCO's Vi. So it's gonna be really interesting to see. It seems as though the Abusement Park bot lane is really trying to shove in their lane first. Nothing too serious happening across the board. Seems as though the Skiz is pushing this in as well. But since we have a little bit of downtime, a little bit of action going on, a lot of damage coming out onto Eshe Cap'n with the level 2 power spike. But it seems as though they are not taking it sitting down. The only to return a lot of that damage, Joey Desu seemed to be struggling a little bit to farm with the East start. Down half a wave. But because it's a Sona, spending a lot of her mana, keeping that bot lane real healthy with the health pots as well.
Now I start to think if Vi is going to contest Scuttle Crab. Actually, Graves is going into the blue side jungle.
And it's funny because they're dancing around each other, and Vi is over here looking towards Skiz, not realizing that the Graves was here, flashing forward for the extra proc. And it seems as though CCO might be going down if... Oh, CCO walked back onto the queue. I think they were fine if otherwise, but such is life, things happen in high intense situations, and was able to get the Graves a second kill for the game.
Graves is scaling so fast at this point.
And Graves is one of those hyper early game champions. If he gets ahead, he can easily walk away with the game. And after taking Scuttle Crab, he's more than healthy enough to come pressure Shadow Jumper off of this tower and maybe even kill him. And it just seems as though they're like huge minion difference is really struggling in this early game in the mid and bot lane.
Graves managed to take both Scuttle Crabs. And I think he'll hit level 6 way earlier than Vi at this point.
Yep, and with 2,000 gold in, he's gonna finish he has his jungle item finished, and he's about to kill Bo. Oh, not quite. Almost forcing the flash out from Bo. Bo's probably gonna be forced to TP back up to the top lane. And Eshe Cap'n did back, so it's gonna be too difficult for Kirway to step up here, even with CCO's here, but getting caught by the traps is going to make sure that nothing ends up going on. Uh-oh, Vi's going in anyway. CCO not doing the combo cancel correctly is going to allow McCurdy to survive that.
Now that gives Graves more opportunity to invade in their blue side jungle, taking all the camps.
And it seems like Graves is really, Mute is really out here, just controlling the pace of the game in terms of jungle, and will keep them off. But they're not going to go take it sitting down. They're going to go right for this dragon here. Getting engaged, Shadow Jumper's getting engaged on in the mid lane. Mute not exactly getting the right positioning to put down enough damage on the Shadow Jumper, thanks to the minions. But it does seem like they will be taking that first Mountain Dragon, so it'll be a little bit easier to deal with Graves with the extra 4% armor and magic resist, specifically the armor, because that's mostly what the damage he does. But if we look at the map real quick, all of the camps on the top side of CCO's top side is gone right now, so there's not really a whole lot that they're going to be able to get, and just Mute is just going to be able to walk right through. And when he backs, he will be coming back with, looks like almost 3,000 gold, so he was going to come back with a full warrior enchant probably, as well as maybe a couple extra longswords and boots. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, and that's forcing Vi to go back to the red side jungle. So, and the fact that Jinx went back to base, there's not much play Vi can do at this point.
And the CS difference that was caused before Ashe was able to back allows her to only come back with a Vamp Scepter rather than the Jinx, then Curdy's Jinx, who came back with a full BF sword, gonna make it very difficult to fight back there. Although scaling is really what they want to give Cassidy and to give Shadow Jumpers Cassidy and Bo's Rumble time to really get up there, while really pressuring Desu up here, forcing him to back with less than 300 HP. And here comes Mute, coming in for another aggressive invade. Gonna get spotted out by the pink ward, but CCO is looking to see if he can get up an in-lane gank here. Opts not to, sits in the tri-bush, hopefully waiting for Mute to come up, but does not go for anything here. They're looking for him, but they can't find him. And now, with Shadow Jumper just sitting around and probably missing a wave of CS for this roam.
Abusement Park is... They're maintaining their control of the vision on the river for both sides.
Even though it's about a 1.6k gold difference right now, it's not... A 1600 gold difference is not... Like, team difference is not that much. So it's very well... good and great to just hold off and slow the game down if you are huge minion difference in this situation. So the buffs are coming back up. Mute is picking up the red buff and CCO picking up his blue. But they are looking towards the Vi, maybe try to get this Rift Herald here, because it has started up and there are no wards here up for huge minion difference.
Yeah, and Rise is putting a lot of pressure on Cassidy. So there's no point.
Yeah. To the point of having 2 tower plates here even. And the Rise in the mid lane currently has 1200 gold. It should be able to finish the Rod of not finish the Rod of Ages. Should be able to back with quite a bit. Probably going for the Rod of Ages here. But the Rift Herald being popped in mid lane means that this mid tower is most likely going to go down here, especially without the help of CCO's Vi, who is fighting and losing very heavily to Desu, forcing the flash out and even barely getting the Q over the wall to survive that.
Now that makes the goal difference to be 3k. And Silas managed to pick up Vi in the fight.
But Bo is going to get the return kill on Desu. No way he's getting out of that with no flash. But Rise is coming in and... Oh my god! The Rise ulti just coming in to completely stop Bo just in time. Joey Desu perfectly spacing it to where he would not be killed, and the Kingslayer keeping him more than well healthy enough to survive that. It's really not looking good for huge minion difference. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. Creeping up to a 4,000 gold difference. Flash burned out from Curdy because Kirway decided to throw the ult out there. The Sona ulti barely clipping and is still going to be able to take off. Ooh, almost committing to the tower and able to take down Curdy in the bot lane. So a TP coming in from the Rise, but opting not to just walk up into them with all the damage he now has. Cassidy here, and Skiz will be going down here, but not before taking out CCO. But now Mute is here too to pick up the Sona, and it's a huge bloody fight that's going on down there. I don't think they get to win that, especially with Yumo sitting down here. Burning the flash facebreaker. Not really getting anything out of it. Mute almost able to, but forcing Yumo's ulti to actually hit Kirway with the AoE of it and take down Kirway.
Now that fight only made Graves much stronger.
Shadow Jumper able to actually pick off Yumo here with a really aggressive play from here. But like I said, CCO, if he's able to stick to Mute, will be able to kill him, but was unable to do so from being so far behind.
He's sitting at 5.5 thousand gold. When Vi is at 2,800. That's actually a huge difference.
but it seems as though Abusement is going to pick up the Ocean Dragon. Not a big deal, not a big problem. So really trying to control the pace of the game. Joey Desu up here trying to pick up Bo. Huge damage trades going out, but it went heavily in the favor of Bo. I mean, in the favor of Joey Desu, but with no help coming in from Shadow Jumper into this mid lane, it seems as though the second mid lane tower is going to go down.
And Rise managed to pick up Road of Ages really early, allowing him to.
That was an 11-minute Rod of Ages. It's going to be extremely difficult for anybody on the side of Huge Minion Difference to deal with Skiz at all. And now we see CCO getting caught out in the jungle. Not nearly enough vision to do anything here. Forcing out the ultimate from SJ Cabin, but I don't think it's going to be enough to catch him.
Now
but they're going to commit to the tower dive anyway.
That was actually a sloppy dive.
Doesn't seem to matter. Still gets a double kill regardless. On the rise. Shadow Jumper is here. Picks up the set, Yumo's set, which means that is a 2-for-2 trade there. Technically 3 if you count top lane. But the dive was just so sloppy that it just ended up being really huge. And thankfully Shadow Jumper was here, but he cannot deal with the rise right now. And another tower plate going on. So now we have a whole 2 towers worth and a couple of plates given to Skiz's rise. And that is a hefty rise with almost 7,000 gold total.
At least Ash managed to pick up the shutdown gold from Graves.
Which is helpful, but I'm not sure how useful it'll be. Because that does put Hero about 1,000 gold ahead of McCurdy, but with the gold difference being as crazy as it is right now, between the bot lane, or between the rest of the map, I'm not sure how much it's going to matter.
Yeah, Rice managed to pick up Archangel's staff as well at 14 minutes mark.
He has 2 completed items. His 2 core items that make him absurd are completed, and once those 2 items fully scale, it's gonna be extremely difficult, even more difficult than it is now. Flash being blown out by CCO after getting caught out in the jungle once again. The Rumble ulti is out here, and the TP coming in from Silas, it is not looking very good. Jesus, just exploding SJ capping with all 5 members of Abusement Park here, and they will be turning their eyes towards the rest of the team. MCurdy able to pick off Bo, and they're looking to take the rest of the jungle camps on this top side and maybe look towards that top tower. They're also picking up the Rift Herald here, and they're going to be able to break the base with it if they use it mid, or they can use it anywhere else to pick up a tower or 2.
The snowball is so fast at this point. Rise already stacking up 650 on his Archangel staff.
And then with the Rod of Ages, he has another 5 minutes before that is fully completed. Another 5 minutes and those 2 items will be completed, as well as boots, and started on a 3rd item.
Now Sona picked up a Tear of Goddess, sorry, but not sure if that's a good choice.
It's very late in the game for it, if you ask me, and they're summoning the Rift Herald to kind of zone them off this tower here. And it looks like they're just going to try to commit to staying here. They're trying to see if they can pick off Yumo's set, but that's not going to go well. Bursting a set will never go well, most likely. But Shadow Jumper is here on the side, so it's very possible. Oh, the Ashe ulti from the stolen Ashe ulti is lands on Shadow Jumper, but it doesn't seem like anything's gonna happen there. Rise very much pressuring Bo, a lot stronger than Bo, 2 levels up and a lot of gold. It's gonna be very difficult, but it seems the fight is breaking out down here in the bot lane anyway, and it is just going way too fast. Everybody on the side of Minion Difference is just melting to Graves and Jinx. Not even losing a member. Oh wait, no, they did lose Joey Desu there at the beginning. They did. going 1 for 2. And it
But
seems
the
as though
gold,
this first Cloud Dragon will be heading towards the size of Abusement Park anyway.
yeah, the goal difference now is 7,000, and Grays and well, actually everyone has around 1.5 thousand gold in their pocket. So when they come back, I don't think Huge Minion Difference will be able to stop Abusement Park.
How do you think Minion Difference is gonna? What do you think they would have to do in order to come back in this game?
At this point, they just have to buy time for Cassidon to scale. He's still at level 11, so
And level 11 is a huge power spike for him in and of itself, but he's gonna need a little bit more help than that.
the problem though will be Abusement Park will be able to pick up Dragon Soul for sure, unless Huge Minion Difference if they are able to make some super plays like this one.
A bushwhack here, thinking a little bit too highly of himself, thinking he can just walk through wherever he wants into the jungle, and giving up quite a bit of gold there, giving them a little bit of pressure back.
So Ash is actually getting a lot of gold.
Well, with the CS differences being the CS differences actually aren't that crazy. The only significant ones being in mid and jungle, which is like a 20 and a 30 respectively. But it seems as though Skiz is just gonna. Please don't go on this. Tell me CCO doesn't go in on this.
Silence coming down.
In on it, but it blew it up. But Rise was unable to get away. Skiz might be giving up a huge shutdown right here. It looks like it will be right to the Ashe, which is exactly who they needed on. Because Cassidon will scale regardless.
Yep, this will buy them a lot of time to actually scale. And Ash already managed to pick up 9,000 or a couple of shutdown golds.
And sitting on another 1,800 now, having already finished the Blade of the Ruined King in the Runeans, puts her in a very good spot as well. I wonder if she's going to opt for the Essence Reaver, or if she's going to go straight for the Infinity Edge here. I just think it's really interesting to note that there's still not a shred of healing reduction, even though they have quite a bit of healing on the side of Abusement Park. And they're looking directly at this Baron, and it doesn't seem like anybody's in even a remote position to contest it.
Yeah, Huge Minion Difference. They don't have any vision around their blue side jungle, so Abusement Park managed to take Baron freely out of it.
Huge Minion Difference hasn't had control of their blue side all game long. So it's very difficult to control Baron when your top side of the map is not in your control. When you're getting abused there over and over again. With the dragon coming up ever so soon, I think. Nope.
They're running up on Cassidon.
The Rise ulti being used to teleport places, trying to catch out of Cassidon. I don't know if that's going to work out too well with the way that his Rift Walk works. And plenty of mana to escape with. But it seems as though they're catching out Joey Desu here. Just a lot of separation plays now are starting to come out of Abusement Park, making a lot of mistakes. So just maybe Minion Difference might be able to come back with this. Persona is the hardest scaling support in the game.
That was actually a lot of damage from Ash.
Oh my god, the flash ulti going right in with it, and not able to take down Skiz right away is causing a lot of issues. He's putting out quite a bit of damage, is able to return with 2 kills. with 3 kills actually. While McCurdy is just shredding this mid tower as Jinx does. Without the focus on the Skiz, there just wasn't enough damage.
Teleport coming down from Silas.
But it seems as though even though that play looked okay for Minion Difference, they're still gonna lose 2 towers out of it. I mean, 2 inhibitors out of it.
And Skiz will pick up Death Cap.
Yeah, he's at his core 3 items. There's no way. I can't see them coming back or dealing with this rise.
Yep, he's sitting at 700 AP at 22 minutes.
With 3 completed items at 22 minutes as well.
Yep, fully stacked Road of Ages, Seraph's Embrace, and Death Cap. And Huge Minion Difference still needs more time to scale. Ash managed to pick up multiple kills, but that's not enough.
Yeah, just having the Ashe alone is not going to be enough, especially with the way that the Ascendant is being forced to build a little defensively now, building, I'm assuming, an Abyssal Mask is what those pieces make up. And like I said, like with the Vi not having Aftershock, it really made it difficult for her to engage freely without having to worry about dying.
At least Infinity Edge
exploding.
Is completed for Ashe.
It's not going to mean anything with Rumble getting caught out almost instantly here underneath the tower.
That's a lot of damage from Rise.
So much damage. It looks like that might be the end of the game here with 3 members down. And all 3 inhibitors and the supers are just pouring in now. And it seems as though Joey Desu is going to go right for it, able to use the Vi ultimate to pull out SJ Captain underneath that. And it seems as though with both towers going down and the inhibitor, I mean, and the Nexus now exposed, that they're just playing with their food and will end this game right after. With almost a 12k gold difference and just able to walk through, giving this game to Abusement Park in a commanding fashion.
Yeah, that's another landslide.
Yeah, they kind of ran over them, especially after that. With the Graves able to just walk through and do whatever he wanted this game, but it is okay. I think the itemization itself was pretty good to try to combat that, but they just couldn't get to what they needed, to the pieces they needed in time.
I think the Spirit Visage build from Silas was actually pretty good against their matchup.
I would agree. I'm inclined to agree with you because as well as with this Visage, what it does, it increases his own healing significantly, while also reducing the damage coming from their 2 main damage sources that game, which were Bo's Rumble and Shadow Jumper's Castellan. Because the Kirway's Ashe wasn't online until way too late in the game, even with the shutdown golds that they gave her. But that is going to do it for this game. We do have an interview lined up with Skiz, so we're gonna get that underway and ask him a couple questions, see what happened in that game. Hello. What do we got here?
It's Skiz.
Skiz, how you doing, bud?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. How you feeling after that game?
Feeling pretty good. I feel like it went pretty well. We had a few mistakes here and there, but nothing that we can't clean up with time.
Okay. A lot of things that I like to hear. Now, I did want to ask, like, with the Rise matchup, how familiar are you with the Rise and the Cassidy matchup?
So Rise is like one of my preferable picks, like top 3. I knew I could shove Cassidy in early, and I knew if I got at least 1 or 2 ganks mid, which I did, we could probably put Caston behind enough where we wouldn't have to worry about the timer on Caston, like Caston 16, for an extended amount of time. And that's what we were trying to play around. Just trying to make sure that this Caston didn't scale out of hand. And I think we played fast enough that we were able to end quickly. I think we could have ended quicker, but we ended at 24 minutes. And Caston just barely got the Seraphs finished off by then.
Yeah, no, I also opted for the Abyssal Mass second, which I don't know if that's great scaling, but it's great. This is good.
I think it was forced into the Abyssal Mass from myself and Silas.
Oh yeah, for sure, I would say.
And then that gave the opportunity for Graves, Jinx, and Set to kind of roll over them.
Mm-hmm. Now, one question I wanted to ask personally, just between you and me, I guess, was the synergy that you feel between you and your jungler there, Mute.
Is there so myself and Mute have played before. This whole team has kind of been playing together a little bit. We all have our little secret synergies, but a lot of our game plan is trying to get through our kind of mid, at least this game, so I can be unlocked to kind of run warp around the map, TP around the map, split lanes, get as much CS as I could. Like I was like uncontested for most of my CS. I think Mute played a really big factor into winning this game. I think everyone did, but I think myself and Mute played the biggest factors into kind of snowballing our lead into a quick lead.
Mm-hmm. Having almost 2,000 gold over your jungler, when ending the game with 13,000, and finishing the game very, very quickly to give everything this, that, and the other. I think you have any questions that you want to ask, my dear friend?
I do not. Just thank you for being great casters. You guys are great.
Thank you. I was actually asking Light, but Light seems to be a little dead.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But how long has your team been together? Actually, now that you've brought that up, and we've got a couple minutes for some extra questions.
This is a team from Glacial Esports. It's an organization that we're all in.
I'm familiar.
Originally, we've like made some roster swaps here and there. But the bot lane, myself and Joey have been playing together on a team for a while. And Mute used to also play on that team. So we have a couple months worth of synergy down. We have a couple kind of comps and picks that we like to run that throw a lot of people off, especially like Set Flex pick. Nobody realizes that he can go support, so it like fucks up everyone's draft. Oh, sorry for my language.
Unless you study the game like myself and just know things like that, then I guess you really wouldn't know that.
Yeah. And it definitely throws people off in draft, just like little things that we can do to kind of like mess with their mentals. Obviously not like malicious or anything, but like trying to get a mental advantage as well as just trying to beat the better player in most situations.
Yeah. And I guess like the only thing that I would have to add on to that would be just to not tell us that, because I want to see. I want to be surprised. I want to be surprised as the caster, watching you, enjoying seeing all of the random picks that you guys probably have up your sleeves.
Oh yeah, Set's definitely like one of very many, and I think it proved here that we have a lot of things to prove, and I think that we will do well this split. I'm very excited to play against I think Iron Dragons tomorrow. Is that their name?
The winners of last split.
Yeah, I'm very excited to play against them tomorrow. It should be really fun.
They only lost one game last split, so hopefully I'm excited to watch that game.
It should be
hopefully
fun.
I'm casting it. But just
one last question, actually. So yeah, before we let you go, how do you feel after winning your first game to split?
There was a lot of I don't know. It was pretty awesome. We had a couple issues with kind of our roster showing up for the first couple of days because it's kind of early for us. We usually play like later at night. So like waking up on time and like not being extremely like dead tired by the time we get into game is one of the crucial factors, like specifically for this league. So we all feel pretty great about it. We all put a lot of hard work in to not only getting better as like players but as teammates together. And I think you can expect a lot out of us. We expect that a lot out of ourselves. So
all right. Thank you for joining us for this interview.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys.
And now, with that, let's wrap things up with the last things before we go into a quick break. Before we get into the final match of the day, we saw a bunch of fun stuff here going on. And if you're enjoying the content that we have here, if you're in, feel free to give us a follow, give us a sub, whatever you want to do to support the channel. Not entirely sure what our next goal is, because again, I woke up right before, so I didn't get everything I needed to know. But this is working out so far. We will see you all in the next one.